like most businesses, you probably invest a lot of time and money in your benefits packages. But do you have a good idea how your benefits compare to other employers? And are you really leveraging your investment the best way possible? For insights on those important issues, check out our conversation with SHRM's Vice President of Research, Mark Schmit. Now, I understand that 2 new research reports will be released in June at SHRM's annual conference in Atlanta. Let's start out by talking about the annual employee benefits report. Can you give me a sneak peek at what you found?
We see companies cutting back in some areas to cover their healthcare costs, and what they're really putting in place more are things like wellness programs to help them reduce their costs in the healthcare arena, or health savings accounts. We're seeing a growth in those because those can help the employee make better choices about healthcare, but also save the company money in the long run.
This trend of employers cutting back on benefits, that's been going on for a while, hasn't it? Does the report find that there is any sign that it's reversing itself?
We are seeing reversals in some areas. So, for example, in the spending on professional and career development, we're seeing some trends that's starting to come back. We're also seeing flexible workplace arrangements coming back.
Mark, what do findings like that mean? What do they signify when we're looking down the road?
Well, that along with some of the other data we're seeing in the economy suggests that employers are gearing back up for the war on talent that is going to emerge again as the economy starts to grow in full force again.
That sounds like good news. Mark, tell me about the second report that you're going to be releasing at the conference. And I understand it's really the first time that you've examined these particular issues.
Yeah, the second report has to do with the strategic element in benefits. That is, how are your benefits in organizations tied to their talent management strategy and ultimately to the strategy of the organization.
What are small companies in particular? What did you find that they're doing? How are they leveraging their benefits to attract talent?
Well, quite frankly, they're not at this point. More than half of them, for example, have not asked their employees what they need or what they want from an employee benefits program. And they're really focused on the cost-cutting element that's happened over the last few years, and particularly with the rising healthcare costs, they've been focused on how do we stay within our budgets rather than how do we leverage our benefits for the benefit of the organization.
So if the first report found that in some cases employers are starting to spend increasing amounts of money on benefits to attract the talent that they need, and then the second report finds, though, that especially these smaller companies aren't really strategically leveraging their benefits, does that mean that there's a lot of money that small and medium-sized companies perhaps are wasting, or at least not leveraging correctly?
I wouldn't say they're wasting their money, but have they leveraged their money in such a way that they can recruit and retain the best? That's the question. And I don't think many of them have yet, because they haven't focused on tying it to organizational goals and to talent management goals. They've really focused on cost savings. So part of our presentation that we'll be doing this year at annual conference is to help small and medium-sized companies leverage those benefits and showing them ways to do that.
All right, great. Mark Schmit, the SHRM's Vice President of Research. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.